Here's a quick update. Okay, as you can see, I'm still in my apartment. I'm still here. I'm still contacting resources. In fact, somebody contacted me today who was pretty nice. But the last couple of days, I've been having very high levels of stress and anxiety. It's through the roof. In fact, all day yesterday I was in pain. Like real pain in my whole body, and the pain was related to anxiety and tension. So actually, one thing that's happening, which a lot of singers may understand, is I usually have to talk a lot, and I hate it. I hate talking to a lot of different strangers all day. Customer service was never right for me, and hopefully I never have to do anything like that again. It's totally against my will. I have extremely high levels of social anxiety. I like to talk primarily to people that I know that I have something in common with, that I'm not going to have much of a debate or confrontation with, people that aren't going to fight me, I don't like talking to people who I polarize with, or who are going to have really, really different, like opposite perspectives all the time, and just very, very challenging. And that's normally what I end up running into. And some people, I think they think that maybe I need a challenge, but actually it's really unhealthy for me because of my anxiety, my social anxiety. I think it really revolves around polarizing points of view, because I've encountered a lot of people polarizing points of view that they get very aggressive and violent, and they start scaring me. So I have some trauma related to verbal confrontations that started from me expressing myself and sharing my opinion, that turned into it'll turn into a debate, then it'll turn into more of a verbal confrontation, then more it gets aggressive, and can get violent, where I've had people threaten me. I've had people start throwing things, pushing me around and things like that, and getting violent and physically assaulting me is the next step. I will go into muted mode if I start to feel really in danger. So what it is I've kind of been in muted mode in here for the last couple of days, and what will happen is I have some TMJ, I think, and my jaw locks, and I can barely get my mouth open, and that really sucks for kissing. I haven't been kissing anyone, but I just want to let you know you're going to have a hard time getting in there right now if anybody was planning one on me, because I have had partners in the past who have actually been very aggressive in trying to assault me, and I had one guy who I didn't realize until much later that he was actually sexually assaulting me the whole time. But he would stick his entire tongue in. You'd think he would go in for a soft kiss or an open mouth kiss. He'd stick his entire tongue in your mouth and just like, for sure, I'm not going to start cursing, but your effing jaw wide open. He would just be like forcing his tongue into your mouth. It was disgusting because he'd get slobber all over my face. And I was, you try to coach in situations like that because I'm very sexually experienced, but no. You can't coach somebody who's sexually assaulting when you're being trafficked. So anyway, what's happening in here is I've been having anxiety, and people are telling me, like on the phone, they're saying things like, why don't you go to the ER if you're having panic attacks? And the reason I don't go to the ER because I'm having panic attacks is because I'm in here in my apartment. I would have to call 911. I have to get an ambulance over here. That is, to me, a huge waste of resources for the ER, and a huge waste of money, because I'm not actually having an emergency type panic attack. Yes, I'm having anxiety. No, I'm not functional. No, I have no one. No, I can barely take care of myself and things. It's way too much stress for me. But who's going to take care of it all in the ER? Okay, I went to the ER a couple of months ago, and what it was is I end up, being checked out, and they do a bunch of tests and checks on you, but I mean, they're not doing anything really except trying to help you, calm you down, administer treatment real quick, test you, make sure that your brain is okay, you didn't have a stroke, test all your vitals and everything like that. And then, after maybe 4 hours of you sitting there like, and you finally calm down, they tell you you're all right to leave. And then you just have to pack up and leave. I mean, last time I went, they said I had this, they thought it was near syncope. Then, that's really what it was, but it wasn't near. It really was, I guess, syncope, whatever it's called. And, my, what is called a Vegas, like the Las Vegas Strip, nerve. Vagus nerve constricts and your blood pressure drops. So you're at such a high level of anxiety, your heart's racing, and then all of a sudden, bam, the nerve constricts. It's the highest level of anxiety that people can really have, and if there's a connection to anything else, you're probably going to be in really bad health shape. You really are in an emergency situation, but I'm not near having one of those near syncope or syncope episodes right now. I mean, I'm not having labored breathing. So going to the ER, it was just that's a bad suggestion because it wastes resources. Now, some people are saying they don't know what to do at these resources. They are responsible for helping people at the resources. Okay, if they're just not saying that they're going to do it, if they're not saying they're going to outreach for help. I'm a person with a mental disability, not an intellectual disability, not a physical disability. So what it is that people push me to my absolute extremes, expecting me to not only be able to handle everything myself, but everything for everybody else too. I'm so sick of it. And that's the thing. The resource center expecting me to kind of like tell them what to do and how to help me. It's like ridiculous. No. So somebody nice today talked to me, pretty nice. And I don't know them personally. It's like I'm talking to these random strangers. I can just tell kind of like by their energy or aura that they seem like they're being honest. But some of these people that I talk to, resources, I just think I associate them with dishonesty. I distrust them immediately. I mean, I shouldn't go there if I don't trust them. And then I start thinking, they might be involved with trafficking. The people at the resources, trafficking resources or DV resources or SA resources, SA and DV shelters and stuff. It's hopeless. It's hopeless right now. And I tell them directly, very directly, you may not realize this, or you may be, you may be a small guy in a big scheme, but I think there's trafficking going on here in your resource center, here at your organization, because you don't have the skills to help me as a person who is mentally disabled, who is a victim, who is a trafficking victim, who is a victim of SA, who is a victim of just everything. I'm a victim of everything. I'm a total victim. And you know what I've been told in the past? Don't be such a victim. Guess what? I didn't realize that, but that took me in the wrong direction, because it made me so independent, and it made me like so rebellious, like against the victimizer, that made me a hero and put me in more danger. I shouldn't have to be bold and aggressive and strong as a victim. And everybody knows that. Anybody who knows anything about victims who are in special victims units, police, criminologists, detectives, investigators, lawyers, the judge, anybody who is involved in anything that has to do with a victim, where there's a victim, they know that a victim is a victim. You shouldn't have to be super sweet. You shouldn't have to calm down. You shouldn't have to do anything. You shouldn't have to be bold and aggressive. You shouldn't even be able to think through things. And yet I can think through it.